Now we've got a really good one to go over here, and if I'm being honest, lately I've been wrecked every time I've got pocket kings. It's been pretty brutal, guys, but we got a good one to go over here today, and we do have a situation with pocket kings you're going to want to stick around for. Also, I'm going to say this one time, if you're not in the community yet, I don't know why you're not in it. That's going to be in the pin comment. You can talk with me, other high-level members, and I've been playing this game long enough now that I've kind of been through everything. It's been for over 20 years at this point, and I think that, there's so much nuance to it. So I think, kind of being in a community can definitely help you out. Also, if you could tap the like, and let's get right into this. Another thing too, grab a bottle of water, some Gatorade, maybe some coffee, kind of sit back because, there are just going to be some spots, and I'm just going to kind of explain why I, make the plays I make. The thing you got to realize, and I say this every time because I really got to just hammer it down, it's that, you're playing against other people, right? And you can't really just approach this from like a GTO or an ABC style. You have to make plays on opponents. You have to adjust to the table, but you just have to you got to make plays, man. You got to throw in the bluffs. Okay, you can't just play like that's kind of what I'm getting at here. But here we go. We got a king queen here. Definitely felt like this guy probably had a pair of jacks or something. So I went for some value. Plus all the draws missed. Ace 10, king 10, those kind of things. So I feel like we're getting called here by a pair of jacks a lot of the time. King jack, ace jack, makes sense. Maybe this guy also calls us thinking maybe we're bluffing this, but it is what it is. I was expecting him to definitely make a call here if he's got a pair of jacks. Like, there's just no doubt in my mind he's going to do that. And, he did. And, I don't know what he had. I'm assuming jacks, and that one kind of worked out. All right, so 8-7 offsuit. Starting this one up a little bit. If we look at the players at the table, it looks like player one's doing pretty good. Player two's doing okay. And then everyone else is kind of just like, meh. You know what I'm saying? Also, feel free to comment below. I'll get back to you. It might take me a little bit of time, but I will. All right, anyways, 8-7 off here. Now, I kind of just gave up on this. It just didn't make sense to continue. The thing is, too, like, sometimes it's just okay to check it down and take the L, you know what I mean? And this was just kind of one of those spots where I just raised the white flag. I was like, all right, dude, you got it. I'm not even going to bother with this right now, you know? And he took it down, whatever, we move on. And sometimes, when you got nothing, and it just doesn't make sense, checking it down instead of like trying to make somebody believe you have something when you don't, kind of makes more sense, right? Anyways, and I was just trying to take down the blinds in that one anyways, so it is what it is. And we move on. All right, queen 4 off, definitely just going to be mucking this. You know, player one taking his time here. Yeah, but we got pocket kings coming up here pretty soon, and then we got a couple other spots too. So, but like I said, kings, I don't know what it is, man. I've been losing every flip with it. It's just been, can't even explain it. It's just kind of been like that. But, you still got to play your game, right? You got to play it, and if you go all in with kings sometimes and it loses to like jacks or tens. The thing that like makes me feel good is even when I lose, like if I made the right play, it just doesn't affect me as much. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, that's kind of the mindset I have about it. And you should too. Like if you take a loss, but you made the right play and the other guy just kind of got lucky on you, then you don't feel as bad, right? And it does make a difference in your mindset and mentality, all right? All right, anyways, 5-3 suited. We will be in the small blind here. This type of hand, it's garbage, but I'm still going to play it anyways. Like, I am. I'm just being real with you guys. And we are going to play this. All right, so we got a button raise here. I'm going to come along. Why not? All right, really nothing there. We need runner cards for straights. It's not all hopeless, but do we want to continue here? That's kind of the question I was asking myself. There's also a flush draw out there with the diamonds. We don't have any diamonds, so it is possible we're not blocking that. Player 2 is going to continue here kind of small. I'm going to continue. I figured why not. Plus, I could still outplay this guy on the turn. It just kind of depends on what happens here. Not a good card. So the diamonds are there. I'm not saying this guy has diamonds, but I'm not, I'm not really liking it too much. The question is, do I want to give up here? That's kind of the question. Now, if this guy checks, to me, he put in a button raise. It just seems super weak if he checks. So, and he did. We actually got to the river here, and I went. I think I went a little bit larger here. Now you could look at this a couple of different ways. This is me just trying to like rep reason on a flush. We don't have the diamonds, so it is what it is there. But I went over the pot size. It didn't matter. It worked. So whatever he had, he didn't want to continue, and it just kind of felt like it was weak, especially when he checked it over, if that makes sense. So that's kind of why I made that play. And if I sense weakness, of course, I'm going to do something like that. That's just kind of how I approach things. All right, Queen Jack off here. We are going to kick it up to the 1250 piece. It's going to come back around, and I think this is going to get raised. Now, Queen Jack, let's be honest. This is not it's not the greatest hand to continue with, but at the same time, I still will. It just depends. Now, player 4 is going to raise it to the 4250 piece. And I was kind of just sitting here like, do I want to continue with this? You know what I mean? If it was suited, yeah, for sure. Like, obviously, I'm going to play it. But in this spot, I'm definitely asking myself, what do I want to do here? And I decided to come along cautiously. Obviously, we're, going to be behind a lot of different hands. Aces, kings, even queens less likely because we have queens. But, we could be ahead of hands like ace, king, right? Ace, queen, we're going to be in some bad shape. But now that we've hit top pair, I've kind of got myself in a pickle here. It's not like I'm just going to let this go. So I was expecting him to continue. He went pretty small, so I appreciate that. We're going to take it to the turn. And now we hit two pair. There are some coolers that we have to be aware of. Pocket jacks is possible, I guess. Pocket queens is still possible. We're still ahead of aces, kings, and ace king. So going to see what he's going to do here. I'm still expecting this guy to continue. He didn't. We got to the river, which was a good card for a couple of reasons. We're blocking the hearts. We got the queen of hearts. So now I'm very confident we're good. We could be targeting maybe ace queen. I don't know if that's possible. He could still have aces or kings, which I'm hoping he has. But I had to go for value here, and I just went for the pot size, which to me made the most sense here. Because it's like, either I got it or I don't. But I'm not worried about the flush. Wasn't really worried about his set either. It was either he had like an overpair aces or kings or nothing, really. I mean, I feel like he would have gone for some value if he had an ace queen, but it is what it is. We took it down. We move on to the next one, and yeah. But like I said, still stick around. We got pocket kings coming up here shortly. Just some stuff before that, and here we go with an ace 10. Ace 10 offsuit, it's just so tricky. I say it all the time because when you get re-raised with it, if it's not suited, it's just kind of like, I just let it go. I didn't even want to play it. I was like, you know what, fine, just take it. If it was suited, I'm probably more inclined to obviously continue. But I'll tell you what, it's just ace 10 offsuit, ace 10 offsuit, ace jack offsuit. It's two of the trickiest hands to play when they're suited completely different. But I'm just telling you how I feel about it because they always come up. It's always a situation I run into, and I always feel the same way about it. It's never changed. All right, king 10 off here. Now I was probably going to make this call until it came around to player 6. I think he's going to kick it up, and I was kind of like, you know what? We're going to let this go. Now, another time, if king 10 was suited here, I would have obviously made the call, but it's not, so it's kind of just garbage at this point. I'm not going to continue. Player 5 could also re-raise. He did open from, first to act here, so that's definitely possible too, keeping it in the realm of possibilities. We would have paired the 10, but, it's all good. I'm expecting somebody to have, over a pair here. I could see jacks, maybe queens, especially in that re-raise from player 6, but there's definitely a possibility somebody's got an ace here for sure too. Excuse me, I would expect player 5 to continue here on the turn, especially if he's got an ace, but he didn't. He checked it back over to player 6. All right, player 6 is going to lead out here. Kind of interesting. He took it down, so don't know what he had, but I think if you don't have an ace there, you probably just got to let it go, right? And that's what happened. All right, jack 3, folding it. So, kind of just up a little bit at this point, but we still got this, kings that I keep leading to. And like I said, man, kings, it's just been, kings is just, I just can't even explain it. It's probably been like the last couple months too. It's just been like that. So here we are. Hope you guys made it to this point, and we'll see how this one goes, right? Okay, so over to us. Just gonna do a standard open here. Nothing more than that. All right, so really looking for somebody to re-raise at this point. Is it likely? You don't know. We are going to, I believe, get a call here from player 6. And this is where things are going to get interesting because it's pretty safe flop. Not a whole lot to worry about. We got this guy calling us in the big. And this is a decision that I had to make. So 5-6 jack board, maybe this guy's got a pair of jacks. Maybe he's got like a weird straight draw, 7-8, something like that, whatever. Maybe he's got 2 pair. I don't know. But are we ever like not going to be aggressive with kings? Probably not. And this is kind of how I played it. So I think player 6 is going to check it over to us. He did. And of course, I got to continue here with kings, Not going to go very big, pretty small. Didn't expect this next. A couple things I was thinking, like, does this guy have 2 pair? It's possible. Jack 5, Jack 6, 5-6. Am I going to play this any different? Probably not, And I'm not like really sure what to do here. I mean, to me, I am sure. I just feel like we've got kings. We got to continue playing it the way we're going to play it. And yeah, he kicked it up to the 36 piece, and that's kind of when I was like, do I want to just call here, take it to the turn? I could do that. I could very well do that. But I decided just to come over the top here. And can you blame me? Just if he's got 2 pair, he's got 2 pair. If he's got just a pair of jacks here, he's probably going to fold. But this is the plan made in the moment. In the moment you do things. He is going to call us pretty quick. He's going to snap us off, and we're going to see the bad news here because it's going to be way worse than 2 pair. He is going to let the clock run a little bit here. I don't even know why he had to think about it. He's going to turn over a set, but check out this turn card. Oh, yes. Finally, kings. It holds up for us. It would have been kind of wild if there was a 5 on the river there for quads, but that's pretty much it, guys. We still got a couple more hands if you want to watch this to the end, but I'll tell you what, finally kings held up for me. And like I said, if you're not in the community yet, going to be in the pinned comment. You talk with me. I've been through everything. I've been playing this for so long now. Plus, I could help you out if you need it. Subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.